I'd like to provide a brief introduction to the APC 610 Horizon Paper Guillotine. The AP 610 is a fairly new paper guillotine for us, and we've introduced it primarily to handle the high need for a simple-to-use cutter in the digital print market space. The 610 has a 24-inch opening for the width of the sheet for cutting, and the depth is just over 24 inches, 24.4 inches. The maximum cut capacity that we can handle is 3.9 inches. There is a false clamp available to eliminate impression marks from the clamp when cutting sensitive materials. To get down to your minimum cut size of 2.5 inches roughly, you need to remove that false clamp. There is a storage space for that, and the machine recognizes whether the storage clamp is in place or not. The system also comes with an energy saving mode, so you'll notice that my screen is black right now and we have a green flashing indicator light. When we touch the screen, the power comes back up, the system gets itself ready to operate again, but in the standby mode, by just simply pressing the green leaf down on the left hand corner of the screen, we are in that energy saving mode. When setting the system up, we can set up just like traditional paper cutter, where we can insert the cut position for each one of our cuts in a program. Or we can also utilize a cut and remember mode as well, where we will drive the paper, the back gauge to its cut position, perform a cut, and that'll automatically insert into the next steps of a program. And of course, any of the jobs can be saved to memory. However, in much of the work that's going to be cut on this machine and in the digital print market space, the job that's going to be cut will be laid out on the job in a symmetrical fashion. So to set up for this job, which has been set up 4 times to repeat on the job and is laid out symmetrically, normally when setting up this job using a traditional programming method on a paper guillotine, it would require that the operator enter into the program 11 different cut positions. Utilizing our simplified mode, there's only 6 measurements that will be required. So the first thing that I'm going to do is enter the size of the piece, and this is 178 millimeters long, and it's 127.5 millimeters wide. Then we're going to enter my margin on this edge of the sheet, which happens to be 37 millimeters, and the margin on this edge of the sheet is 19 millimeters. And then we want to put in our gutter cut at the center of the sheet, which is 25 millimeters. And we need to get our gutter in the other direction, which is 13 millimeters. Then we just tell it how many it's going to be up on the sheet. So we want to say this job is going to be 2 by 2, and hit the OK button. Now you can see it shows us the layout on the screen, including our edge trims and our gutter cuts. And the color image that you see on the right hand side of the screen is telling us where our first cut is going to take place. You'll notice that when we begin into the cutting process in a moment, that this will show me which cut is being performed, and this section of the screen right here will tell the operator what direction to rotate the paper and whether to rotate 90 or 180 degrees for the cut. So very, very simple for the operator during operation. First cut, push out. The screen is indicating that we should rotate the stock 90 degrees. (180 degrees clockwise). 90 degrees counterclockwise. And the job is completed. Of course, now if this is a repeat job, we can take and store this job into memory. So we will call this our Christmas card application. So we'll go with an abbreviated version, Xmas space cards space 4 up. Enter. Now that job is stored into memory to be retrieved at any time. We can also choose to put a lock on that job so that the job cannot be altered. If you want to retrieve a job from memory to begin cutting a job that's been run a previous time, for example, this is a business card job, we'll open that file up and say OK. And then if we take a look at the cutting steps, we can see that it's a 21 up job, which required I'm sorry, I went a little too far, which required 46 measurements or cut positions to be entered into the program. However, again, if I was to use the simplified mode on this application, it still would only require 6 dimensions to be entered in for that same job. So 46 cuts versus 6 cut positions. Thank you for your time.